Alright, so today we left off with adding and subtracting radicals, so now we're going to multiply. When you multiply two radicals together, you only multiply the two numbers outside and then the two numbers inside. So for this one, we would do 3 times 2 and we would get 6. And then root 2 times root 6 gives us root 12. Now, we're not done because we know that 12 has a perfect square that goes into it. So the biggest perfect square that goes into 12 is, please, for the love of God, don't say 8 or 6. It would be 4. 4 times 3. The square root of 4 is 2. So 2 times 6 would be 12. And then 3 stays under the radical. That's all you do. Now let's look at B. For B, you would multiply 2 and 7 together. Now remember, you can't multiply 2 times 3 or the 6 times the 7 because these numbers are under the radical. So 2 times 7 gives us 14. And then root 6 times root 3 gives us root 18. Now we're not done yet because we know 18 has a perfect square that goes into it. The biggest perfect square that goes into 18 is not 6 because 6 is not a perfect square. It's 9. 9 times 2. The square root of 9 is 3, so we have 3 times 14, which gives us 42, root 2. Now let's walk through both of these again. The first thing we did on A was we multiplied 3 times 2 together, and we got 6. And then we did root 2 times root 6, and we got root 12. We broke 12 down into 4 and 3. The square root of 4 is 2, so we did 4 times 2 and got, 2 times 6 and got 12. And then 3 stays under the radical. For B, we said 2 times 7 gave us 14. And 6 times 3 gave us 18. It stays under the radical because both 6 and 3 are under the radical. We broke 18 down into 9 and 2, and we got 42 root 2. Now we're going to add one more to here. C. And we're going to say 3 root 5 times 6 root 7. Alright, so then we multiply. Alright, we have 3 root 5 times 6 root 7. So the first thing we do is we multiply 3 and 6 together, and we get 18. And then we multiply root 5 times root 7, and that gives us root 35. Now, there's not a perfect square that goes into 35, so that's our answer. Now, remember, tomorrow we're going to work a little bit more on this, but we have another lesson we have to do, so make sure that you're practicing these. Look at your other worksheet, the one that says simplifying radicals at the top, the little ones with the little numbers, and find problems that look like this and practice. You can practice on your own. Now you can also distribute, and that's what we're going to look at on the last part. To distribute, we're going to multiply 3 root 5 times 2 root 5. So the first thing we do is we multiply 3 times 2, and we're going to get 6. Now this is where some magic happens. We have root 5 times root 5, and that we know is 5. So we have 6 times 5 plus. Now we're going to do 3 root 5 times 5 root 3. Remember, you can only multiply the numbers on the outside together, then multiply the numbers on the inside. So 3 times 5 is 15. Root 5 times root 3 is 15, or root 15. Now we do 6 times 5 and we get 30 plus 15 root 15. Now for B, we're going to multiply 3 root 2 times 4 root 3. 3 times 4 gives us 12. Root 2 times root 3 gives us root 6. Then we're going to do 3 root 2 times 6 root 2. 3 times 6 is 18. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. Because the roots go away. So now we're left with 12 root 6 plus 18 times 2 is 36. Now let's walk through what we did on both of those one more time. The first thing we did was we multiplied 3 root 5 times 2 root 5. So we did 3 times 2 and we got 6. And then we did root 5 times root 5 and we got 5. Then we said 3 root 5 times 5 root 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Root 5 times root 3 is root 15. 6 times 5 is 30, so our final answer is 30 plus 15 root 15. Then we looked at B. 3 root 2 times 4 root 3 is 3 times 4 is 12. Root 2 times root 3 is root 6. Then we said 3 root 2 times 6 root 2, and we got 18 times 2, because the root 2 times the root 2 becomes 2. Then we said 18 times 2 is 36, so our final answer is 12 root 6 plus 36. There are some problems like this on your worksheet. Please work them out. Tomorrow we have to rock and roll. Be ready.